Okay, this is to set up experiment number 3, balancing forces. Now this is, of all the setups, this is one of the most difficult, because you essentially have to build the entire apparatus that we're going to be using to test. And so you want to make sure to go step by step through all the instructions and go slow. Alright, so we've got our pieces here. Here we've got 3 pulleys, 2 protractors, some string, a digital scale, and that's not shown, but we have that. You have to provide the paper plates, the printer paper, 3 large paper clamps, which are these things here. Okay, some paper clips, and you're going to need a few of these, so I suggest going out and buy a box if you haven't already. I have, instead of paper towel, I'm using a rather large toilet paper roll. Either will work, but you need something that fits inside the plates. And then off kind of in the distance I have some books that I might need. I suggest a paper towel roll because that way you get height and it's all taken care of, but you might want to make it a whole roll because you don't want any stability issues. Pliers if you need them, and then tape. Okay, so now I also mentioned scissors, but that's to cut the paper. We'll get to get to that in a little bit. Step 1 in constructing the force table. Stack together 10 to 20 paper plates upside down. You don't need to tape them together. This forms a plate stack. I find that the thin paper plates work the best. These really, really thin, cheapy ones, they actually work the best because of when you flip them over, they have a nice circle inside there. And so it says take the 3 pulleys. On each pulley, twist one of the hooks 90 degrees so it's parallel to the table when the wheel is perpendicular. This is the style of pulley that you are given. And if you take a look at this, you have, I can't even hold it up here, you have a hook. But if you turn the wheel so that it's just facing you, the hook kind of disappears because you're looking at it on the edge. Okay, so the hook is kind of in line with the wheel. What you want to do is you want to take that and you want to twist it 90 degrees. Okay, that way it's not in line with the wheel. So when the wheel is kind of looking you straight on, the hook is presented to you. Alright, that's what I mean by the 90 degrees. Now there's 2 hooks on each. Some of the hooks don't move as much as others. I suggest using those as your mount. And so I would keep these that are kind of loose. I wouldn't play with them too much. But you can always take, if you are hard up for it and both are loose, what you can do is you can take some kind of a book or rock or hammer or something like that, and on the sides there you can pinch them together. And so you just place it on a hard surface, a couple of stones, one stone to put it on, one stone to hit it with. Put it on a hard surface and pop that. You'll see kind of a little bar in between. Pop that bar with another stone and that'll lock that up a little bit. Okay, so we've done that to all 3. I have to makeshift because I only had 2 in my lab pack. I've made sure that you had 3 in yours, or you should have 3. Stack the 2 protractors together to form a circle. So now we're onto the protractors. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these protractors here. Okay, and we're going to stack them together. But when we do, we are going to have them locked together at their holes. Or if they don't have holes, you want to line up the 180 degree and the 0 marks so that everything is the way it's supposed to be. So something like that. Okay? And then when you do that, you want to tape both of them together. And you don't want to move it when you get done taping it, but that's what it looks like. Okay, so we've lined them up, all the lines match up, and then I use this yellow tape to tape them together. You can use masking tape, that's fine too. Number 4, place the plate stack upside down on the paper towel roll, and that's, quote, my tower. And so I have my paper towel roll, and I make a tower here. And so I'm going to set it on there, and I've already drawn it on there, but it says take a pen or a pencil and darken the edge of the center platter. Okay, there's a little kind of an indentation in the center here that forms the, quote, platter of the plate. This is the flat part of the plate you tend to put your food on. Now the nice thing about this is it gives you a nice perfect circle, and so you're going to want to take a marker, I used a marker, but you can use a pen or a pencil to kind of darken in the edge of that. That way, when you move on to step 5 and it says center your 360-degree protractor on the plates as best you can, when you do that, you can actually look through these clear protractors, see that line clearly, and then tape down your protractor quite well. Now this thing is going to want to move, and so you want to make sure that you tape it down with a couple, like 2 or 3 pieces of tape. I use 2, but make sure you do it in a couple of different spots so it doesn't twist. The next part, number 6, says take your string and cut it into 3 pieces. So I have my string here and I cut it into 3 pieces, and that sets up the 3 different lengths that I need. It says determine how much you need by tying a paper clip onto one end of the string and threading the paper clip through one of the pulleys, allowing the paper clip to clear the pulley. So here I have a pulley and I have a string with a paper clip on it, and I'm going to feed that paper clip through and allow it to fall through the pulley. Okay, and so there has to be enough for it to clear the pulley. So now, as you look, I can't have it way up in there, but I need it to clear the pulley just a little bit. So not much, but just enough. And then it says hold the string at the center of this 360-degree protractor and measure an additional 2 to 3 inches and cut. Okay, so we want to hold it at the center of the protractor. So if I kind of lay the pulley up there where it's going to be, what I need to do is hold the center and then go out 2 to 3 more inches and then cut it there. This extra provides a center knot for attaching all 3 strings. And part B says you want to do the same thing for the other 2 pulleys. In step C, though, it says using only the 2 to 3 inches, depending on what you had from step A, line up the free ends of the 3 strings and tie all 3 strings together at the opposite ends of the paper from the paper clips. So what you're going to do is you have 3 strings that are separated. You're going to take the additional couple inches that you had left over, and you're going to pinch them together, and you're going to tie that off to make one big knot. And what this is going to do is it's going to provide a center point, a common point for all 3 to sit when you perform your experiment. Now these are going to get tangled up pretty easy, so it might be a little tough to keep them separate. Do the best you can, and because you have to keep them separate. Let's see here if I can get mine unseparated. So I just curl this around, and poof, there's my 3. Okay. So step 7. Here's the part where it takes a little trial and error, but use the paper clamps. So your paper clamps here, and you are going to want to attach the 3 pulleys onto the constructed force table. So here's my force table. I'm going to take a pulley. Okay, and I'm going to use the side that I bent the 90 degrees. So place the hook bent in step 2 flat on the paper plates. Flat on the paper plates. However, then clamp the hook to the paper stack. Your pulley wheel should spin freely, so you can't clamp it way up because then your pulley won't spin. It's just right along the paper plates. You have to clamp it closer down. It doesn't matter that the wheel kind of hangs off. We just need it to spin freely. Okay, so I'm going to use that and clamp that down. And you'll do that to all 3. Okay, so I've got the second one here. And after you're done, very gently, because it's kind of touchy, but very gently, put that on a little bit more. Very gently, spin the wheel on your pulley just to make sure that it spins freely. This third one just kind of will clamp on. Okay, just imagine it there for right now because the clamping mechanism is kind of long and enduring. All right, maybe we can cheat and do it this way. This is actually a pulley from one of our true force tables. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is, if your paper clips are in danger of touching the table, use books to raise it. But you're going to feed the paper clips through the pulleys like this, making sure that your center knot is in fact available in the center. Okay, and now mine's too short, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on top of some books here. And there I have a force table. Now the strings, when you start doing this, the strings you're going to want to make sure are actually on the pulleys. They're not hanging off on the side, because that'll put friction into it that we don't want. And so using my string here, make sure that it's on the pulley. There we go. And there's our setup. That's for experiment 3, balancing forces.